everyone. It's Bridgette Clarke of the Miss Honeybee Show, and today's guest is
Sesil Jenkins.
welcome, Mr. Jenkins. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Doing
Good.
fine, Bridget. Especially now that I know I have a homeboy actually behind the cameras in here.
Well,
I
that
know I'm
is
gonna be taken
definitely
care of today.
yes.
No
That's my
question about it,
producer. Yes,
Mr. Steven.
yes. So tell everyone who you are.
Well, I'm Sesil Jenkins, and I am coined all around the world as the protege and surrogate family member of Marvin Gaye. He was my mentor. That was me singing at his funeral as a young man.
Mm-hmm.
Mentioned in a few books about him. Even in Ziola's book, there's some small print about me. But there's a great deal of print in the book written by David Ritz, who is the author of the book Divided Soul. You can
Okay.
read about me there quite a bit. And I am the founder of the group Sesil and Lujon. And we have a big, strong history. Has some music out that covered quite a few um, radio stations throughout the world.
Okay. So you said Lujon, not Little John.
No, Lujon, Lujon. But that was where Little John got his little feel from, you know.
So you saying he got his name from you? From
He won't testify to it. I'm sure that he won't. But we dropped our first record. We were in Hollywood, California, in Universal Studios, where they had the BRE convention, and Sesil and Lujon was the most talked about act, other than Al B. Sure, on that particular during that particular conference.
so you saying y'all were around before?
Yes, definitely around before Little John came out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yes.
but other than that, I am also the founder of a nonprofit organization that's titled TBOC.
That's right. It's all about the kids.
TBOC, yes, it stands for Take Back Our Children. And this initiative is from Marvin as well, who made it clear that we must save the children in the
Yes.
What's Going On album. And of course, we are committed to that fact and wanting to remove the gunshot murders in our communities and against our children.
Right.
Yeah.
The children are the future.
Yes, they are.
Yes. So you've done a lot within your journey. So being that busy and just working, you work with a lot of people as well.
Yeah, we worked with quite a few
Who have you
people.
worked with?
We toured with quite a few people. When we had our first single out, which was called "Be Yourself," and the flip side was called "I Don't Want to Go," we were on the same. We were label partners with NWA and Timex Social Club. So with that record label, we were label partners, and Sesil and Lujon, of course, had the Quiet Storm sold up with the song titled "I Don't Want to Go," which is a very romantic hit. And that's the song that we were actually pushing at the BRE when we met Little John. And we, we toured with everybody: Lilo Thomas, Tony Terry, Chad, George Sims, Ray Goodman and Brown, Rick James, LL Cool J. Oh God, I can just go on and on and on.
Okay, and not to mention your protege, shall I say, you were the protege to Mr. Marvin Gaye. So,
I am that, soulfully that.
so what was that like working with Mr. Gaye?
Oh,
Mr.
great.
Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no question about it. It was a dream true to all things. Mainly because I'm a conscious-minded person.
Yes.
I think consciously, and we fell in love that way. I had a partner of mine by the name of Tex Griffin, who was Marvin's bodyguard. But Tex was actually the bodyguard for many acts that were out there years ago. And Tex said that Marvin needed some dancers. And me being somewhat of a triple threat, singer, dancer, as well as actor, and an athlete, but I chose the stage for my career. And so we talked with Marvin, and Marvin wanted us to dance for him. And in his act, that he took over to Puerto Rico. And that was during the time period that he was helping Frankie Beverly and Mays. They had just finished their first album featuring Frankie in the Marvin Gaye studios. And but you know what's so interesting about all of that is, I tell you, and it taught me a lesson though.
What is that?
Well, even though he said he'd like to have us to dance in his act, He didn't send for us. He just told us if we want it, we'll come get it.
So you had to go to him.
And if you guys want this, I'm giving it to you because of text, because he really hadn't seen us dance. But I've been known for dancing and singing and for entertainment all of my entire life,
Right.
from age of 4.
And so you sung for Mr. Gay?
I'm sorry?
You sung for Mr. Gay.
Yeah, actually, during that time I sung for him, and I also was his lead choreographer.
Okay.
And dancer. I made up a dance that a lot of people in the industry was making their own. When my partner Fleecy, his real name was Joe Floyd James, but Fleecy and I had created a dance called The Rock. And Michael Jackson came out with I Want to Rock With You. The Whispers did Rock Steady, and so did Aretha.
All of my favorite songs.
Yeah, and we didn't get a song behind us at the time, and because during that particular time period, Marvin was actually preparing to leave Motown. And he had a lawsuit going on, and some other things were happening in his life. And so he ended up leaving the country. And I, in turn, stayed on the forefront because that's where he wanted me to be, to help the family.
Right.
That he wanted me to focus there to help the family. And when I say that, I mean that literally. His mother loved me like I was her own son. And my birth mother and her used to laugh and joke a lot whenever they talked about who was the real mother. So I'm really into the family, know everybody.
Well, it's a blessing to say that you have that much history.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the Gay family.
Yeah, and the Gordys.
Okay.
And the Hunter family, which was Janice and, of course, his daughter, Nona.
Yes, I saw the pictures with Mr. Gordy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
Well, I had been around in his company on a few occasions.
Doing music?
Yes. But the photos that I sent you, that was for the Strike Fest.
Okay.
His niece, Iris Gordy, the daughter of Fuller Gordy, Iris and her daughter, Carla Gordy, started an event, nonprofit event, called Strike Fest. Why? Because he loved to bowl. And he used to make his trips back and forth to Virginia Beach. That was where I literally met him for the first time as a youngster. And, anyway, it's so much to talk about.
Exactly.
We'll get through some more of that in a minute.
So, out of everything that you've done, what would you say is your greatest achievement? Or are you still working towards that?
My greatest achievement?
Exactly.
I've done some exciting and historical things in my lifetime, honestly. I've been very busy. I've been a busy young boy, I have. But the greatest is yet to come. I say that because Sesil and Lujon, we've had quite a few record deals offered to us. But we wanted artist control, something that Prince wanted when he first came out. And we wanted artist control. Why? Because we're conscious-minded men. And we wanted to be like the Commodores back then and Temptations back then. We want vocal groups like them, but our music needed to have a message to it, and it needed to have something that was going to excite a lot of love in the people listening to it.
So real ballads.
Yes, and that's what Marvin liked about me, because he knew that as a spiritual-minded person, that we would do that type of music. For instance, he made it very clear to me, wait for it, you'll get it. I didn't think it would take that long, but however, it did pass by very slowly. But I'm kind of glad that it did, because I could have been in a lot of mess out here in the industry with some of the other people who are going through so many changes today.
Right.
Yeah, I could have been tied up into all of that, and I'm not that guy. And we're releasing some new products soon. We'll talk about that.
Right. Well, I believe God's timing is our timing. So whatever's going on in life, we may want to do something, but we still have to wait on him. So
Yeah, we do.
And it's not going to happen until
we do.
He says.
I'm a firm believer.
With everything that you've gone through, what was your journey like during your dark times, and who do you give credit to?
During my dark times? I give all credit to God.
Amen.
Jehovah God and his son Jesus Christ is what I give total submission to.
Yes.
And like I said before, Sesil Lujon, it's not about the glitter, the glamour,
Right.
or the glory of this industry.
That's right.
It's all about the message that we're talking about with our children, as I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I give them the credit, but I do give Marvin a certain amount of credit for things because he loved the idea that we were conscious-minded people, and that was an influence. And when I first met him, though, when I told you earlier about us traveling across country,
Right.
because he said if you want it, you'll come get it.
Did you go?
Oh, there's no question about it.
Okay.
We put all the tools and pennies together and took the Greyhound out to Hollywood, California. And that was in the year, telling my age now,
That's okay.
that was in the
You're
year
right.
1975
Okay.
when we did that. And 74, 75.
And you didn't look back.
Didn't look back.
Mm-hmm.
Took the Greyhound straight to Hollywood. And my partner Fleecy had a guitar and I had a bass guitar. And our luggage and everything, we walked down the streets of Hollywood from the bus terminal straight to Marvin Gaye Studios.
Okay.
But we arrived too late to go on the tour
Why?
because we had to make sure all of our loose ends were tied up before we just left because we knew we were not going to return.
Mm-hmm.
That was the goal. And so we arrived there somewhat too late. When we got to the studio, Flo was her name. And she always sung the Tammy Terrell songs with Marvin.
Mm-hmm.
And she was also the dancer for him,
Okay.
like a ballerina kind of thing. And so when we got to the studio, she wanted to know all about the dances back east. And we were able to show her that. But he said he couldn't take us on the tour. The tour had already been set. But when he comes back, then we'll talk about the next tour.
So you had to go back home.
No, we stayed in Hollywood, stayed with some personal friends and partners, and even some people we actually didn't even know who wanted to take us in.
Sound like the industry where most people, when they have a dream, they go and they find some way to stay.
Well, see, the thing about me is I have so much faith and raised as a devout Christian kind of guy. I've always believed what's mine is going to be given to me. And so during all of my travels, all the way up till today, in this day and time, I have seen the blessings given me. It's like it's like I haven't written anything, like it's already written for me or something. You see, and of course I could step out of the way of what's there and confuse it all.
Right.
But for the life of me, it just never seemed to amaze me nowadays with my journey and the way things happens and open up. And it's almost like a dog would say, I'm homeless out here when I'm hungry. And then all of a sudden somebody would come up and feed the dog. You know, such a beautiful thing of caring. He's always put in front of me just what I need.
God's timing.
So going back to what you said earlier, God's timing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
God's timing.
And I didn't get here overnight, so
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things, in the industry, working behind the scenes, working in front, and people think things just happen. So they don't know that you put in the work.
I know. It's that old story. They say, did you hear this new group? It's never really a new group.
No.
And every now, every blue moon, it might be one. Somebody might take somebody and just say, I'm going to make you this, and they make them that, and it goes. But overall, you have to serve life as it's given to you.
Exactly.
And it's not overnight.
No.
No, it's not. That's why I knew he saved us for what's getting ready to happen now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So what are your platforms?
What are my platforms?
Where can people reach you?
Well, they can always Google Sesil and Lujon, which is SesilAndLujon. And you can always Google Sesil Jenkins, Dr. Sesil Jenkins. And you can always do that, SesilJenkins. And you'll find much There's a great deal of information out there on us. Or you can email me, and we can converse back and forth.
Okay.
I have an email address that I think you should email me through, and I'll give you that. That email address is Protege of Marvin Gaye at gmail.com. The in the front, the Protege of Marvin Gaye at gmail.com.
Okay.
And the reason why I want you to do that is because we got a book coming out. We'll talk about that.
That's right. So speaking of which, so back to your journey. So what is the book about?
Wow. It's from the embryo in me in my mother's belly. My mother's brother, Horace Jenkins, was a part of the doo-wop groups back in the day. They were called the Five Sheiks, Five Pearls. And I owe a lot to my uncle. And they had a song out of Hampton Roads, out of Norfolk, Virginia. And the song was called Walk That Walk. They recorded it with Frank Guida, who was responsible for Gary U.S. Bonds, and a doo-wop guy, and Jimmy Soul. If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, won't you make an ugly woman? I don't know why they did that, but the song hit for them back then with Jimmy Soul. But my uncle, my mother's brother, they were on Atlantic Records. They were touring with Lionel Hampton. They were there right during the time of Ray Charles being with Atlantic Records. And so I kind of got it. My grandmother played guitar. All of my aunts sung. My mother was the greatest dancer. She said her dancing frightened her. And what she said was that one day she was dancing and it felt as though her feet had come up off the floor. Now, she was a dancing somebody, if that was the case. I was probably a little tiny guy during that time. But however, it frightened her so bad. But I picked up her. She taught me how to dance. And then I found out later on in life that Ceil Lujon is my cousin, and the great jazz singer Ceil Lujon.
That's right.
And I regret, if it's anything that I regret, and I don't regret many things because I feel like life was a purpose for me to go through what I went through. But this I do regret. I was in Hollywood, California, living in Hollywood, California, and when I found out that the great Ceil Lujon, jazz singer, was my cousin, I didn't take the time to go get with her.
Okay.
Something I should have done.
Yes.
And she just passed just a few years ago now. And I regret that. That I do regret because I should have gotten to know her.
Oh, yes. Well, we all have regrets, you know, for the most part, but that was, might as well say, out of your control.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was.
Yes.
Yes.
So we live with it and we carry it and we go on.
Yeah.
Yes. And release. Yes.
Yes, we do.
So tell me about the tribute artists. How do you feel about these performers now? Because a lot of these people out here are getting it easy versus back then and when y'all used to do what you do and you had to put in the work. So all they got to do is put something on social media and they just like some of them get, found.
I think that tribute music is a wonderful thing. Don't get me wrong, tributers. I think tribute music is great. I've never performed in any show because we have all original music, Sesil and Lujon.
Right.
And I have always added a Marvin Gaye song to all of my performances. Even if I had to do one song, I tell them, no, I got to do two. Because I always had to do a Marvin Gaye song. So I always give them tributes. And it's on my webpage if you want to go there, sesilj.com. Okay, you go there and you'll see a tribute that I do. It'll be a photo of Marvin and a photo of myself. We're on stage and right behind him. And if you go there and click on that, you'll hear me doing a tribute of his music.
So
in
how
my
do you
in my
feel
own
about
way.
it? Right.
In my own way.
Okay.
And and now on the opposite side of my knowing that that's flattery, when a person wants to do a tribute to an artist, I dislike it to the fullest degree.
How so?
I literally hate it.
And why is that?
And there's a reason why. Like Marvin always told me to be myself. That's why Sesil and Lujon's first record was called Be Yourself. And, and I believe wholeheartedly that keeps creativity going. It doesn't stop it. the world is constantly turning.
Exactly.
And so creativity is very, very important.
Yes.
Now, the tribute part, I think, is wonderful if the artist isn't alive. You know, just like October London. Have nothing against him, yet to meet him. Looking forward to one day meeting him.
He has a beautiful voice.
You know, yes, I know. I've heard
He
him.
sounds like
But
to me, Mr. Gaye.
Well, that's flattery.
But I'm not really, I can't say since that wasn't my era.
No, but that's flattery.
Yes.
You know, when he began to do his own sound, I don't know if he even have a sound of his own. I have heard other songs by him, but it's not identifiable. You know, the most identifiable thing there is when he does Marvin.
So do you think Mr. Gaye would be proud of his music and his sound?
If Marvin was alive today,
Yes.
he wouldn't want him to be trying to sound like him at all.
Well, I understand if he was alive.
If he was
but
alive.
At the same time, they do tribute shows.
Yeah, they do tribute shows.
Yes.
And his is a different thing. You know, Marvin's not here.
Right.
And it's flattery. And it's a reminder.
Right.
You know, and I love that. You know, but I'm the guy with stories. Matter of fact, I got a song coming out, Sesil Lujon, about the copycats.
Okay.
Of certain things, but not to try to hurt them, but just trying to get people to get creative.
Right.
You know,
your issue is that people are imitating, I should say, people that are still living.
Yeah, like the Dramatics.
Instead of having their own identity.
Yeah, get your own identity
and find out who they are and walk in their purpose.
Exactly. Now, when I was growing up as a young person, radio wouldn't play you if you sounded like a Marvin Gaye or a Teddy Pendergrass or the Temptations. If you sounded like David Ruffin or Eddie Kendricks or any of them, radio wouldn't play you.
Right. Well, Vegas is known for that here. A lot of
I know it. I know it. But if the artist is not alive, and you just want to do a tribute one night, that's a different story. But if you are a tribute act going around sounding like the OJs and all the other acts, how are they going to make money? People going to hire you and they're not going to make money. So this is where I think about this other thing about this. If they are alive, then you should be paying the money, okay? You should be paying the money for taking their likeness and using it for yourself. Now, it's flattery. Don't get me wrong, but it's still business. It's still business.
But don't they do that when it comes to like the, copyright and just like playing their music?
Most of them don't.
So even playing their music, there's some kind of way that you are either sharing revenue or something with them.
Well,
and you have to get permission to
let's think about
remake music.
Let's think about it.
Yeah.
Over 70-some% of the acts out there that are performing someone else's song.
Right.
And here in Vegas, I know this. Here in Vegas, when I first arrived, here's the acts, and they're performing songs by other artists. Okay. And if they performing one song, that's fine. That's flattery. You know what I mean? And it shows your vocal ability too, if you can do it. But if you are a business and you're saying you are a tribute band, okay, you should be paying that artist something. You just cut them out of a payday, you see, because they can get you a lot lesser than they can get the artist for. So with streaming and things of that sort being, and cats are not making money as it is today, and we just came out of COVID on top of that, which kind of was effective, but not all the way. But just that alone, I think the tribute guys that are out there, if the act isn't here, definitely give us a reminder. But if the act is here, let's not tour doing their music. You're cutting that artist out. You really are.
And you have the facts on that. For
they're cutting them out. Because if people really want to hear the OJs or want to hear the Dramatics and all these other acts that are still alive, they can. You know? Why be a Temptation act going around giving tribute, which most of them are gone though. Okay, and so there is room.
There's one left, right?
Otis is still here. you know. But Otis could be working a lot more, you know,
Right.
because if they can get it cheaper, people will get it cheaper
Of course.
just to be able to hear
Yeah,
it.
sure. Because
You
a
know, and
lot
it's
of.
flattery. Don't get me wrong, y'all. Okay, it's flattery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's respect, but still, yet let's not cut them out of their dollars. Yeah, they need a payday too.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
just boils down to paying homage. So,
yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah. No,
respect.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. If it's continued, in other words, if you were like touring the whole country as the Temptations, you know, you're cutting Otis out. You really are. You see, now most of them are gone. I That's another thing. Okay, there's but and Otis he ain't gonna stay out there that long anyway. So they might be able to get by with a little bit of that where I would respect that a little more.
Right.
But with the Dramatics, Adrian Reynolds and all those guys are trying to make money. You know, and if the tribute band is coming through here and they sounding almost identical to them, they just cut them out of a payday.
So, what would you feel like if someone was imitating you? Because I mean, I've done things, and there's been people that maybe try to imitate me. So,
Flattery. I think I would be honored just the fact that you trying to do me.
right.
And I do have my own style, and you're going to
Mm-hmm.
hear much more of that
Mm-hmm.
sooner than you think. But however, um, I would be flattered by it, but I wouldn't want them touring the country sounding like me,
Trying to.
trying to, because then how am I going to make money?
Right. So, but we are put here to help. So it's like teach one, or help one, teach one,
Yeah.
and anybody that's trying to imitate. So we wish them well, but at the same time, it's like they're learning from us and they're taking it and they're copying. But at the same time, that's something that you're teaching, and it's a good thing. So if they're copying it,
Yeah.
yeah.
But let them pass on first.
So
Let
you
'em-
rather just pass on
I'd
before
rather they
somebody.
not be here
Mm,
before you start copying. Now, some people say that, when they do their music, they're keeping them alive. And like I said, it is flattery. And I think it's exciting.
mm-hmm.
But not for you to be out there on major tours and going where you're going and taking all the money. Let
Right.
these guys make some
I
money.
see your point.
It's just like the shot lights with Marsha Thompson.
Yes.
Okay, just like that. Marshall is the only shot light
That's
alive
right.
today.
Because I did his interview.
Uncle Marshall. Okay,
But
yeah,
yes,
but
but
you
he's
know
still
that.
doing tours and everything.
Yes, he is. Yes,
Yes.
he is.
So he's still
Because
using his name.
nobody's out there trying to copy them.
No.
Now, if somebody was out there copying Marshall Tompkins, and as far as the shot lights are concerned,
Mm,
then people are gonna say, let's book these guys. They sound just like them. They may not be the originals, but they sound just like them.
okay.
Add something else to it.
Point taken.
Yeah.
Yes. So where do you see yourself in the next 6 months?
Oh, next 6 months. It's crazy. With our nonprofit organization, TBOC, Take Back Our Children, we have become global.
Mm-hmm.
We're in 9 countries in Africa. We're in Barbados. We're in Jamaica. Matter of fact, our whole goal is to build master studios for the young people so that we can teach them the things that they should know. They've been bamboozled, tricked, and manipulated, and these gunshot murders and this hatred that they have for one another, and the industry must stop immediately.
It's
And
sad.
we're very serious about this.
Yes.
We are talking to people from all over the world, and everybody's wanting to be a part of Take Back Our Children, okay? Because it is something that Marvin talked about, and Anna, Barry's sister, who he was married to. I would never forget Mrs. Gaye. She had like she was my mother too. I love her and miss her so much.
What is
And
your fond memory of her?
yeah, my fondest memory of her.
Yes.
My fondest memory of Mrs. Gaye is her sternness, but her love. It's interesting she was, because she would probably cuss you out on this side of the face, and then on the other side of the face, she's telling you how great you are and how much she loves you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So,
That's good parenting. That's how I was raised, though.
yeah, well, that
They were
was how I
stern,
always.
but they
Yeah,
loved us.
yeah, my father didn't play, boy. He put the paddle to the tattle.
Exactly.
Okay, but I knew that he loved me, And Mrs. Gaye was like that. She didn't play around with nobody.
No.
There wasn't no playing. If she told you something, it was serious. Okay.
And that's how the parents were.
And I loved that about her, because I'd heard so much about her before I ended up living up there in the Hollywood Hills with her for a period of time while I was working with Lil Marvin, and that was interesting too because I gave up a hit record that I had out called "I Do Baby" to for us to make that arrangement.
Did you and Mr. Gaye, Marvin Gaye, do any music together?
We never did music together. Now, I wish we had. We were, believe it or not, Marvin sent me out after the tour, the world tour that we were on, and he came back home. He said, "Prince, what you want to do?" And I told him. He said, "Go out there and find your act." This was after the Midnight Love album with Sexual Healing. Because I kept begging him before Sexual Healing.
Yeah, it's a great song.
To go back to the What's Going On era.
Right.
Because I'm this conscious guy, and I'm like all this love, and I want us all to get together and smooches and love one another and everything. And he told me that he couldn't do it. And I wondered why he would say that to me. And so I asked him. And he said to me these words exactly: "I can't go there right now because if I do, it would not have a profound effect on the people." And I said, "What do you mean?" And I'm this young guy because we communicated like that. We prayed together. We did a lot of stuff together.
Like
in Hawaii and here in America.
Yeah.
And a lot of sports still too. But he told me that he couldn't go there. And I just didn't understand why. I said, "You're Marvin Gaye, And he said, the reason why we can't go back there is because, again, it would not have a profound effect on the people. He said, let me get a hit first. And I said, again, why? He said, because they'll think that I'm doing it just to get a hit because it was my biggest selling record. Then I understood, because haters are haters. And had he went back there, they'd have been saying, oh, he needed a hit bad as I don't know what. So that's why he did it. And it could have been outstanding, and it still would have received that type of pub. So we got Sexual Healing. After we got Sexual Healing, I saw it. I understood it. But I saw the demons coming even faster, trying to stop it. Because I knew where we were headed. A record company we were talking about starting with me and Uncle Frankie, who I learned a great deal from. Uncle Frankie, boy, I learned more from him than I did Marvin, actually.
Who was Uncle Frankie?
Marvin's brother. Yeah, yeah, he was the one under Marvin, Frankie Gaye. And remember I was telling you about trying not to sound like somebody?
Exactly.
Well, that's what happened to Uncle Frankie. Uncle Frankie was going to sign with RCA Records. And Marvin told him he could get a lot more money and a better deal if he weighed out and what have you.
Right.
But however, he was trying to tell him, you're my brother. And he didn't want nobody out there sounding like him during that time period.
Did he sound like his brother?
Did he sound like him? Whoa. Only two people that I ever knew sounded just like Marvin. And that was Al Johnson of the group The Unifics. He could copy Marvin to the T. No AI, none of that other stuff going on out there or whatever. He had every bit of him, of the group The Unifics, drove the Hearst Cadillac. And he was from Hampton Roads, matter of fact.
Okay.
And Al sounded a lot like him, and so did Uncle Frankie. But
so what happened with Uncle Frankie? Did he sign or no?
No, he didn't sign. He waited, and didn't get the deal that he wanted. And but we were going to start this record company. And I kept my homeboy Gordon Banks around because I wanted to make him a producer in the company. Because I'm a businessman as well as an artist.
Right.
Because this is music business.
So with all the things that you did with Mr. Gaye, you were a singer. You also were a security.
I did. That's interesting.
Did you do security for him?
I wasn't bigger than a wet noodle. A wet noodle for real. I was a small guy. I was a dancer too. And when we went on the world tour, I worked security And I was the lead dancer and the only male dancer on the stage with him. And I had a beard during the time, and I'm gonna send you one of the photos where we looked like twins. And people used to holler and scream when Uncle Frankie played that role. When he would come out, and everybody thought he was Marvin. And then I would come out, and they thought, like at the Circle Theater in San Francisco, when we came, dancers came out, we came out on stage because we opened the show. They swore I was him. However, that was during a time period that we could have been the most off. It was time to do that. But when he sent me out to go put my act together, answer to your question earlier, I never forget it. I was selling cable TV. I was.
So, what was your most memorable moment with Mr. Gaye?
Most memorable?
Yes.
When he was singing the national anthem at the All-Star game. I was with him. I was about 5 feet away. I went down there with him earlier that day, and I stayed with him down there and spoke up to Dr. J and Magic Johnson and all the other cats. Met them, but they were so excited to meet Marvin, they weren't paying me no mind. But I was right there standing next to him. So when we came back when it was time to do the song, as soon as we got on the floor, as soon as we got on the basketball floor, it was as though it all started in less than 2 or 3 minutes. And I'm standing here looking at him sing the song. But granted, we were all at Zeola's house the night before, his sister. We call her Sweet C. But we were all at Zeola's house the night before while Gordon was putting together a little musical something that Marvin can have a bed of some kind so he can stay focused and do the song. And he made it sort of that military type of sound, drum beats and so forth. And so we were up all night doing that. Marvin was up all night too. So I don't know how he was able to be in the right voice singing the song as I'm sitting right here looking at him 5 feet away. And then we sat at half court, of course, after that to watch the game and everything. And then later on that night.
So he was ready.
Oh, he was ready.
Yes.
He
stayed ready.
Yeah, he didn't know it was going to come out like that. And a lot of times, he even told me, a lot of times, he may rehearse it one way, but then it's the feel of what's going on and being a creative person. As I said earlier, y'all, don't stop the creativity, because we're not. Sesil Lujon. That's why we're coming strong with it real soon.
Okay.
But yeah, he changed everything right then. I watched this man, my big brother. I watched this man, and I'm doing it, matter of fact, on our new project that Sesil and Lujon are ready to release. I watched this man take one song and change it 4 or 5 different ways. I mean,
on the spot?
Next day or day after, you think you're going to go in the studio and hook up with him and come back because I was working security. Go in the studio with him and hang out and whatever. And the song that you heard the day before, he's now doing it differently. It's not even the same story.
So you don't recognize it?
Same track. Same track. We have a track that's called Thankful, and then we have a track that's called Every Child Has a Dream. I think I sent that to you. Every Child Has a Dream.
Yes.
And on that Every Child That Has a Dream track, compared to this Thankful track, it's totally different.
So he just changed it around.
Because I was copying him. Now you can copy him. He ain't here no more.
That's right. So after everything that you've been through and looking at your life now, you still have a lot that you're doing. You're still
I'm just getting started.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I mean, as a creative person, I feel that there's just so much more for me to do.
Yes.
You know, especially with our children. You know, I'm trying to give them what I was given.
That's right.
And like I was telling you, he told me to go out and find my act. I went out and found my act. I was working cable television, as I mentioned. And I went out and knocked on the door, and there was a band inside the house.
Okay.
I keep telling you earlier, like I told you how it's just give me what I need.
Right. Well, we are looking forward to your book then.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have all of that in the book. Yes. It's been wonderful doing this interview with you today and just hearing all of your journey with every artist you've worked with, especially Mr. Marvin Gaye. It's truly a blessing and honor.
I'm passionate about that.
Yes.
Passionate, very, very passionate about that.
So what would you want people to remember about you? Because age is just a number. Do you agree?
Yes, I know that
It's
for
all
a
about how
fact.
you feel.
What do I want people to remember about me? If it's two words, most people out there that know me or have gotten to meet me know that I say they use these two words all the time. Loyal, love, which stands for loyalty and to love someone. And I know that only way a person is going to be loyal to anything or anyone is to love it. And that's what I want people to remember about me. You would leave me alone before I leave you alone. Reason why is because as a godly person, when Jesus was giving up his life, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what it is that they do.
Amen. Yes.
That's Sesil Jenkins. You'll leave me before I leave you.
All right. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for being my guest today.
Oh, I've enjoyed it.
Yes.
We've had some good conversation in here
Most
today.
definitely. We've covered a lot.
Yeah, we did. Wait till you get the book.
Okay. Well, we are definitely looking forward to it.
Wait until you get the book.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Yes.
Love you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you. Matter of fact, give me a hug right quick. I gotta have a hug from you. Oh. Ooh, that was nice.
So thank you everyone for tuning in today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because the show is on YouTube. And it's called the Miss Honeybee Show official on YouTube. So check it out. Thanks for watching again. God bless.
Miss Honeybee.